Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I'm here creating a series of presentations for the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development program, and in particular the AWD 1111 .NET Framework with Web Databases class. For the fall 2019 semester, we're going to use the book you see in front of you. That is Pro ASP.NET MVC 5 and A-Press text by Mr. Adam Freeman. We're working our way through the book. There are 27 chapters, and I'm about halfway through Chapter 24. So we're starting to work with collections. I've made all the changes. All right. And I don't even remember what happened, but I think let's come in here, try to save this, or run this rather. And then we want to come in here and do a slash. What was it? Creates. Make? I don't even remember. Good golly. It was home names. Alright, now though I should be able to put in, notice I've got, there's me. Okay, well I don't want me in there 3 times. Let's put in 755, which are the first 3 digits in the address here at Rankin, and true. Click submit. There it is. It worked just fine with different kinds of data. Alright. Jump back into our book. Binding to collections of custom model types. We can also bind data properties to an array of custom types, such as an address summary model class. In the listing on the bottom of 695 here, on the top of the next page, we've added a new action method to the home controller called address, which has a strongly typed collection parameter that relies on the custom model class. So let's grab this. We will add this to the bottom of our home controller. No problem with any names, because this is address where the previous 2 were name. Alright, the view that we created for this should be, let's try it this way. There it is. Get rid of the templated code and add what's shown on the middle of page 696, which is right here. This view will render a form element if there are no items in the model collection. The form consists of pairs of input elements whose name attributes are prefixed with an array index. So if we save and run this, and we come over here to /home/address. There are the addresses. So 755 Par. Whoops, how about just Lake St. Louis? Lake St. Louis, country United States, Paris, France, Colombia, South America. Submit. Okay, Lake St. Louis, Paris, and Colombia. Probably want to do some work as far as removing that comma, but that still is fine. All right, the top of page 700, dealing with binding errors. Well, before that, it looks like I've skipped something here on 697, removing the bind attribute, okay, from the address summary. So let's get rid of that. Should have done that first. And that was in the address summary.cs, so that was under models. And we're just going to comment that out. Okay, all right. Should have done that, didn't do that. All right. As mentioned before, sometimes in my quest to get this stuff done, I'm just going too fast. So let's run it again. Well, the problem is my pages are mismarked on here. There we go. Now they're correct. All right. But let's see. I have no idea if this will work any differently now, but we're going to run it anyway. We're going to iterate over to home address from right here. All right, that should bring up our 3 addresses. We already have done this, but we're going to try it again just to see if it looks any different. Then we're going to look at manually invoking binding and looking at binding errors and just a couple more things. So here, Wentzville, United States, Paris, France, and I don't even remember the other one. I think it was Colombia, South America. Oh, it looks a little nicer. There we go. All right. Manually invoking model binding. So I'm on page 698. The model binding process is performed automatically when an action defines parameters, but the programmer can take direct control if so desired. This gives more explicit control over how model objects are instantiated, where data values are obtained from, and how parsing errors are handled. 2428 demonstrates how we have changed the address action method to manually invoke the binding process. So we're coming in here, we're going to end up changing our address method under our home controller. So we now have this in here. The update model that you see on here takes a model object that was previously defined as a parameter, tries to obtain values for its public properties using the standard binding process. All right. Page 699. Top of the page. When I manually invoke the binding process, I am able to restrict the binding process to a single source of data. By default, the binder looks in 4 places: form data, route data, query string, and upload files. This listing here talks about making a change to the home controller to our update model. Okay, just grab that whole, in fact, let's grab the whole flipping thing. So what has changed is what we put in here. All right. This version, as it says, takes an implementation of the I-value provider interface, which becomes the sole source of data values for the binding process. All right, each of them is represented differently. Notice form value provider is the one that we chose. All right. Each of the classes listed in table 24.3 up above takes a controller context constructor parameter, which the author says there is obtained through the property called the controller context. All right, when we want to restrict, again, I'm going to go back over to the address. After a while, I mean, I'm not commenting stuff out because after a while, I mean, it just gets a little bit ridiculous. I have more comments in there than I have code. In this case, the form collector class implements the I-value provider interface. And if we define the action method to take a parameter of this type, the model binder will provide us with an object that can be passed directly to the update model method. All right. I'm at 12. I want to finish the next page, which is page 700. Kind of monumental in that the last page in this book is page 784. So we're less than 100 pages from the end. All right. Users will inevitably supply values that cannot be bound to the corresponding model property and invalidate text for numeric values, etc. When we invoke the model binding explicitly, we're responsible for dealing with any errors. The model binder expresses binding errors by throwing an invalid operation exception. So we'd want to come in here and make sure we're doing this inside of a try catch. And we wouldn't want to just say provide feedback to user. We'd actually want to do something in there. All right. An alternative approach to this is we can use the try update model method, which returns true if it's successful and false if it's not. And let's see what this says. Probably use, I was going to say it'll be a using that we have to add up here, using system. All right, if we don't want to do it using try catch, we can come in here and, as it says, use this if statement. The only reason to favor this one is if you don't like catching and dealing with exceptions. Some people believe that you should do as little bit as possible with try catch because it can really slow down a system. All right, plus it gives you the ability to just, regardless of where you are, it gives you the ability to be able to go in and just remove what's there. All right, so let's finish this up in the next lesson, customizing the model binding system, which will be it for me for today.